All right, Joe and Jessica. Joe, you, just for people that have not seen your first video on my channel, you went through an auto accident. How many years ago was it?
It was back in 2018, so like 5 or 6 years ago now.
Yep. And you had a face transplant to kind of repair some of the burns that...
Yeah, I had a face and bilateral hand transplant.
You're recovering still.
Still recovering. Don't know the recovery state, but every day's different. Some days it's really good, some days it's really bad.
Mm-hmm. And you met Jessica when? Before or after the accident?
After the accident, I DM'd her on Instagram about her dog, and now we're here.
What happened with your dog?
Nothing on my dog. Is we had the same breed, so
I see. You were just communicating.
Yeah,
about the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Searching.
And now you're married.
Yeah.
Recently married in December.
Yeah, we got married in Oahu. Just Joe and I.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And how has it been? So obviously Joe raises some eyebrows when you go out in public.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. Everywhere we go, people tend to stare, or no one's really said anything to us in person, but you'll see a group of teenagers talking about Joe. You could hear what they're saying sometimes. But yeah, Joe definitely gets a lot of stares and recognition as well.
Yeah, people, through social media, you guys have...
Yeah.
I mean, your first video has almost 2 million views, I think.
Oh, wow.
On my channel.
That's pretty cool.
On YouTube.
Yeah, Joe... A lot of people will come up to Joe. When I'm alone, people don't recognize me, which is fine. I'm fine with that. But when I'm with Joe, they'll tend to come up to me more than Joe.
Yeah, I guess I'm that approachable, so they tend to talk to her. But then once I say hi, then they start to talk to me a little more. But they always go to Jessica.
Even when we're ordering food, the waitress will come ask me what he wants, and then they give me the bill at the end, which Joe doesn't mind. But it is kind of weird that people come to me for everything.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How old are you guys?
I'm 34.
I don't know, 26.
Okay. And what attracted you to Joe?
His personality, his confidence. When I first met him, he was just very confident, very sweet. I felt very comfortable with him. We just had an instant connection. But I would say what attracted me the most to Joe was his confidence, which I feel like never left him.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Because Joe was a very handsome young man before the accident. Yeah,
he was.
And I just love the connection that you guys have. It's a beautiful story.
Yeah, thank you. It's, we have our ups and downs, but mostly ups. And the downs are mostly related to his being admitted to the hospital. Those are some downtimes for us. But yeah, I think we have a good connection and a good bond and a good life together.
Mm-hmm. Joe, what do you see in Jessica? What do you love about her?
I liked when I first saw her on Instagram, her hair, her smile, her body, and then when I got to know her, her personality got to show out. I was like, that's pretty cool, because she's from California, and I'm from Jersey, so it's a whole nother personality setting. So it was nice to see a different side, because I'm used to Jersey people and New York people, but now I'm with a California girl.
You are. That's great. I love how human relationships are so varied and so unusual and so different.
Yeah, it's definitely his family dynamic is a lot different than mine, but they get along. They met for the first time yesterday. But his dad is your typical Jersey Italian-American man, and I grew up with my grandparents, and they're just kind of chill California.
So your parents just met Joe for the first time?
My grandparents, yeah, yesterday, and my mom.
And what was their reaction?
It was a lot. It was good, all good, but it was a lot of people in a small house. There were a lot of people, so that was kind of overwhelming, but it was good. Everyone got along. They laughed a lot.
Because Joe's a regular dude.
Yeah.
He just happened to have gone through something.
Exactly, yeah. And his family's super fun. So my grandparents that was the most excited I've ever seen them to meet anyone, was his parents coming over.
And they I'm sure have seen him through social media and things like that.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, they know all about Joe's story. My grandpa watches everything that comes out about Joe, and his first question when I call him is, "How's Joe doing?" It used to be, "How's Kirkland, my dog, doing?" Now it's, how is Joe doing? How's he feeling? So they're very, they care about him a lot.
That's great. And you're working?
I work. Yeah, I work. I'm a nurse at in New York City, and I work in the operating room.
Do you think some of whatever attracted you to becoming a nurse also kind of is part of your personality and made you open to this relationship with Joe?
Yeah, I think being a nurse, you're more open to differences in people. You meet people from all kinds of different backgrounds, mental disabilities, physical disabilities. You learn how to talk to all kinds of people as a nurse because you spend a lot of time with people. So, and I'm not squeamish or uncomfortable, or if he's sick or hurts somewhere.
Like my neck.
Yeah, he had a cut on his neck. When you did your interview with him, he was healing from a wound on his neck, and had to take care of that. So
That took like 6 months for it to heal up.
they wanted to do surgery on it, and Joe was like, "No, we're gonna fix it at home," and we did. And now
That's
it's healed up.
Do you think you see the real Joe behind all the scars and all the stuff he's been through?
Yeah, I mean,
you must, right?
yeah, like people say the longer you're with someone, you kind of forget how they look like, right? Like 2 years, 3 years deep, you're just, this is Joe, like this is who he is. I don't think about how he looks. I mean, sometimes I'm like, okay, he looks a little bit more swollen than he did yesterday. I noticed those changes in him, but no, I don't look at him any different. I am attracted to Joe. I love Joe.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah, such a beautiful story.
thank you.
And you guys are thinking about having kids?
Yeah, the kids definitely. We wanted, or I wanted, to have a house, have a career, have insurance for the kids. We have all that. So it's at this point, it's like, as long as everything works, as long as I'm as healthy as I think I am, then we'll be able to have kids.
That's great.
Yeah, running out of time. Well,
And they might look like Joe did originally.
yeah,
Yeah.
Good chance of that, right?
yeah. It's how you looked originally.
Yeah, the kid's gonna look how I looked back in the day, so that's gonna be an interesting dynamic.
That's what I'm
because,
saying, yeah.
Yeah, the kid's gonna see me with the swollen. Hopefully the swellingness goes down, but the kid comes out. But it's been interesting seeing the kid look at my swollen face, and the kid's not swollen, because the kid's gonna have a sharp jawline, because Jessica has a skinny face, and I had a skinny face back in the day.
Right. No, but it'll be great because that kid's going to love you no matter what you look like.
Oh yeah.
That's what I think about too, is how they'll be with Joe, or maybe their perspective will be a lot better than most kids too, because they'll have a dad that, can't do physical things with them like most fathers can. Joe's hands aren't 100%. He can't be in the sun. He can't go into the swimming pool. So there's a lot of stuff that he cannot do. So that'll teach, our future kids how to be better people.
Better people. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And in this world where we're so focused on appearances and social media is just creating a monster almost with all of that. It's just refreshing to see this relationship and maybe what you guys will have with your children.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Hopefully everything works out.
It'll work out. I think the kid will be more understanding, and because kids are just curious. Because a lot of kids stare at me, and I don't mind that at all. Because, every kid's curious about everything because it's his first time seeing you for the first time.
Do you get reactions from kids when you're out in public?
Oh yeah, all the time with kids, and I don't mind it. Back when I was burnt, I had my burnt face. I used to scare the kids a little bit, just have fun. Because you gotta have fun with it.
Right.
Because I understand, I'm not going to get mad at a kid for staring at me. And I understand people are like, oh, don't stare. But it's a kid. You can't control it all the time. And I understand.
What has your mental journey been, Joe, since the accident? I'm sure at first it was difficult, and I'm sure it was a struggle initially.
Yeah, it's definitely a struggle. A lot of gut punches, especially because I worked in a gym a lot. And to have that taken away in an instant is a really gut punch. So yeah, I had my down days and upset, but I overcame them. I just figured if I can't change it, I just might as well just accept it and just go with the flow. And that helped me out a lot, just accepting that what I can't change and what I could change, change it. And losing weight, I was like at 205, and then when I got the cut on my neck, I shot up to like 225 in the hospital, and I'm still trying to lose that 225. I'm down to like 218 now, but it takes like 2 months for me to lose like an actual like good amount of weight because I can't lift heavy weights no more. I have to do cardio only, and my mom helped me with these wrist wraps, so that helps. But I can't do heavy weights. I do higher reps, and I'm not super satisfied, but I just have to accept it and just keep working on it.
Mm-hmm. It must be wonderful for you to have the love of someone like Jessica with your mental state. I mean,
yeah, she helps me out a lot with the mental state, and just her being by my side helps me out too.
yeah, I mean, she's a beautiful girl, and most guys would be very happy to have a girl like this.
I also feel like people stare. It's like, how did he pull her? And I don't know. I just say that I'm 6'1" and I'm funny, I guess, at moments.
Well, you just found somebody who can see the beauty in who you actually are.
Yeah, that too. And yeah, I guess you saw me for my personality. And
Did you guys get to know each other over the phone or through?
yeah, we texted at first, and it wasn't like your typical like 21 questions and all that. It was like a natural conversation, and I was like, oh, this is rare to have a natural conversation with a text. Usually it's like awkward and, like you leave you hanging for like hours on end, but like it was instant, like less than 5 minutes from each other. And we just kept texting and then calls, FaceTime. And
How did you break the news to her that you had this accident and the scars from it and all that?
oh, her professor sent her an article about me, and then she followed me. And one day I was just bored going through my following list. And I clicked on her profile.
So you knew about Joe before you even met?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. I was actually working on a transplant unit at that time in Ohio. And my nursing professor, like he said, had sent his story to me. I was working, so I didn't really read it. And then I saw the documentary about Joe that NYU released. And then I added him, and then he messaged me, and everything just fell together after that.
Very interesting.
Yeah. And it wasn't that a lot of people will say, they say Florence Nightingale syndrome because I'm a nurse, and
Right.
that's what people think I have a fetish, but there's not like a pattern.
It's all right if even if you did, that would be okay because everyone needs somebody, and you're basically, I believe in this the positive things that can come from a great romantic relationship, and you're like saving Joe's life in some ways.
Yeah, and I think it's mutual. Joe helps me a lot too. Just because people don't see how Joe helps me doesn't mean that he's not helping me.
Mm-hmm.
He might not be able to take out the trash. I have to do that, but he helps me calm down, and because I'm a very anxious person at times, so he helps me just calm down. At work, if I get upset, he helps me navigate those feelings.
What are Joe's strengths as a
that he doesn't care. He does not care. I'll do something at work and I'll just tell Joe about it. He's like, why do you care so much? Like, it's not like anyone was hurt or anything bad happened. I'm like, I just care about what people are thinking about me, right? And that's what Joe's really good at is why care? Who cares? Who cares what they think about you? And I'm like, yeah, Joe, you're right. And I hate to admit that he's right because I'm stubborn.
No, especially when we're young, we're all so focused on what people think about us.
Yeah. And I'm 34, so you would think that I wouldn't care as much anymore, but that's just who I'm trying to navigate those feelings about people caring about me. But yeah, no, Joe helps me a lot, and it's, one hand washes the other. And just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not happening behind closed doors that he helps me.
Yeah. Joe, how has the accident and the face transplant and all that changed the way you just navigate your life and navigate the world and see how are your interactions different with other people because of all this?
My interactions are way different now because especially like at restaurants, people treat me differently. Sometimes they go like above and beyond to help me out, and some people just treat me normally, which is cool, but I also don't mind them going above and beyond. Like that's also like really nice. But I also I like to be treated normally too. It's refreshing when someone treats you normal. It's like, oh wow, that's nice. Sometimes it gets annoying when people treat me different. Like, oh,
It must be nice to just be treated like a regular Joe.
yeah, they make me work for it. Some people take the paper out the straw, and sometimes people don't do that for me. It's like, all right, this is my time. I have to be a regular person and do it.
It's kind of like
So that's it's refreshing, but it's nice.
it's kind of like living in LA here. You'll meet celebrities sometimes, and whenever I do, I always try to just treat them like a regular person.
Yeah, because even though the celebrities could change their life, and they don't know it, they're still just your average Joe.
No, they're just regular people.
They have a special talent that no one else has.
We're all just people in the end.
Yeah.
What kind of lessons are you learning about life living with Joe, Jessica?
To be more patient. I'm not patient at all. I just want to, get out the door, go do our thing. To slow down. When someone loses someone, I haven't lost anyone close, but when they lose someone, they start to say I see the wind moving the leaves. I see nature for what it is. Everything just slows down when you lose or when you were grieving. And I haven't been through that, but people talk about it. And I think with Joe, it just, I learned to just calm down and go at his pace and just try to take it day by day. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow with Joe. When he gets admitted to the hospital, it's so stressful. Over the summer, when you did your first interview with Joe, he was in for a month and a half, and I thought I was going to lose him. It just was awful.
It was after our interview or before?
During. Yeah, he had a 3-day break from the hospital.
And that's when I did the interview?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why he was really red and more swollen. They were pumping him with a lot of steroids. So it just wasn't a good time. But, Joe Steep, he still pushes, the interview with you. He's like, no, I want to do it. I want to be there. He wants people to see the struggle. It's not all, face transplants aren't perfect. It might seem like it's going to change your life and make everything better, but you're just trading one problem for the other, and that's any transplant, And so people don't realize it's not all beautiful. It's all actually pretty awful sometimes. And during that admission, his heart did something really weird, and they had to get a code team in there, and it was just so scary. 20 people in the room because his heart wouldn't slow down, and Joe's just sitting there okay, I'm fine, I'm cool, I'm chilling. He didn't even feel that his heart rate was that high.
No, I went to AFib.
It was in almost 200 his heart rate, and normal is under 100. So that was stressful, scary. The only thing you can do is have trust in his team. That's it. Just trust that these doctors know what they're doing. His transplant surgeon is the most amazing, intelligent person I've ever met. So when he walks in the room, I feel so much better. He's like, everything's going to be fine. I'm like, okay.
That's great.
So yeah, you just have to have trust in the team and the process, and try not to stress.
You've had good doctors, Joe?
Yeah, I like all my doctors. If I didn't like my doctors, I probably wouldn't have done the surgery. And I had no bad doctors. I did have one bad resident. And I told my doctor, and then they got talking to, and that was it. But everyone on the team is just good, humble. Because I don't if a doctor did have that typical doctor ego, he'd be off my team. Because I want to be humbled and just a nice, easygoing team.
That's wonderful.
Nothing no egos.
And you're happy with the results of the face transplant?
I'm happy with it. I got my independence back. I was either ups and downs. And at first I did only post about the happiness and how wonderful it is, but recently, the past half a year to a year, I've been posting the struggles, the admissions. It's my hands are in pain. I used to hide that from the internet. My hands are in pain. Especially after a flight, my hands are in pain, because you got off the flight yesterday.
They swell?
Yeah, so I'm a little swollen and my hands are in pain, but I pushed through it. Tomorrow, my hands will be fine. I just have a thumper gun. I massage my chest out, my face will go down.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever regret making the decision to have the transplant?
Only time I regretted it was while I'm in a lot of pain. My last admission, my team told me not to take my steroids in the morning because I would get a higher dose later on in the day. And not taking the steroid in the morning, it felt like back in like the beginning stage of the transplant where cats are clawing your palms. But it was a different because I had to do stuff at home. So that was like, it was 10 times more pain. That's the only time I regretted it, was that my last submission, because that was a lot of pain.
That's wonderful. And are you working, or what do you do, Joe? How do you spend your time?
I have a clothing business I just work on, and like Jessica helps me with the computer stuff. And because I am not good at computers whatsoever. Like I'll start the process of like putting the shirts on it, and then she'll go in afterwards and like tweak it, put like the periods, commas in, and grammar mistakes. Because I'll put UR instead of YOUR, and so like she'll correct all that stuff, and then put like the SQ numbers.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, I'm not that professional, so she takes the professional side of it. So I'll start and she'll just tweak it. So she helps me out a lot with the business.
That's wonderful.
He's working on a book right now, too.
Oh, you're working on a book?
Yeah.
Yeah, also a book.
Oh, that's exciting.
With a ghostwriter.
Yeah, so I'm not a writer at heart either, so that was a pain. So the ghostwriter's really helped me like expand my knowledge in the words.
Do you communicate on social media with other people who have been through things similar to you?
Yeah, when I post my story, people reach out. Sometimes it's like little things, like someone has a scar on their eyebrow, and I'm like, well, you know, if you didn't help out in the beginning stages, it's a lot harder to do it now. So just keep putting lotion on it, and just try not to think about it.
Yeah, there's another face transplant recipient whose family reached out to us actually. And we're in communication with them, and we talk, and they're just amazing people. They're from Arkansas, so they have that Southern hospitality. And sometimes if he's admitted to the hospital, the wife will reach out to me, and we'll kind of like just meet in front of the pharmacy and just catch up. So it's nice to have someone there that is literally going through the same thing Joe's going through.
They were a burn victim as well?
He was injured in a lineman accident. He was a lineman, so he was electrocuted. So yeah, some burns, electrocuted, yeah. And they're just an amazing family.
Yeah, super nice. I talk to his sister a lot more on Snapchat. We'll talk a lot. And then she'll DM me about cars, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so y'all keep in touch.
Yeah, they're good people.
That's nice. Are there lessons in humility that you think you're teaching to the rest of us?
I would hope so, yeah.
Yeah, I would think that's probably the number one lesson.
Yeah, like, get to my cloudy days, stay in your lane. So, like, that's what I did. I stayed in my own lane, so I didn't really worry about what other people think about me. I'm not going to let someone's, 2-second stare, ruin the rest of my day. Because you can look perfect, and someone will still find something wrong with you. So it's like, I'm not going to let someone stare at me for 5 seconds and ruin my day. Right. So I hope people take that out of anything. Just, wear what you want to wear, do your hair how you want to do it, and just go out about your day and have a good one.
All right. Joe, what would you say are the most important things that people can learn from your story?
Stay in your lane, not worrying about other people, working on yourself. If you don't like how you look, and if you can change it, like go to the gym or just do yoga. I actually was just talking to Jessica this morning in the car about doing yoga just so she can just relax, take time for herself. Because the other night, she has this like toothbrush that has a 10-minute like cleaning system on it, and she's like, I had no time for that. I was like, it's 10 minutes. Just take 10 minutes for yourself, for once, and just have a deep clean on your teeth, because she likes her teeth a lot. She works really hard on them. And just take time for yourself, 10 minutes, an hour to yourself. I take an hour and a half, 2 hours myself a day to massage my scars and to get the swelling out. And I wake up 2 hours early just to do that. I'm also not a morning person. And that's another thing I'm trying to work on too, be a morning person. I wake up 2 hours earlier, so I'm not grumpy when she wakes up. But sometimes that doesn't happen.
Yeah, you'll have to go to bed earlier for that.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, Jessica and Joe, thank you so much for coming in. Your story is really inspiring, and it's a beautiful,
Yeah, thank you for having us.
beautiful
Yeah, thank
thing.
you.
I hope you guys live long, happy lives and have some beautiful kids.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. When I was designing the first Soft White Underbelly book, I realized that there were so many great portraits that weren't going to make it into that book. They just wouldn't fit. And once I saw how well that first book sold, I knew I'd have to design a second book. This second book is finally ready to ship. Like the first one, this book has a collection of some of the best portraits from Soft White Underbelly, accompanied by a quote from that person's interview. This book features another group of Rebecca portraits, as well as a collection of color images of the Whitaker family, and plenty of others. You can order yours for $125 or $150 for a signed copy at softwhiteunderbelly.org. Again, like the first book, once this book is sold out, I will not be printing more of them. The portraits are what Soft White Underbelly is all about, and these two books contain the best of all that work. Thank you for watching.